Hello, hello, hello. How are you? Hey, Miss Kate.
Hi, hi, hi.
How are you, love?
Oh, the sun is out. The sun is shining after a rainy morning. So I'm excited. I'm happy to be here.
Hey, yes, yes, yes. Hello. Robert is just joining us. We had some technical glitches here. I take full responsibility, everybody. um,
Oh my goodness. What, like the entire world is trying to be on the internet right now?
yes, right?
Hi, Robert.
Hello, how are y'all?
Oh, good, good, good. Yes, Jacob's
Oh
here.
my gosh, Jacob's here too.
Hello,
Hey,
everybody.
here.
Oh my goodness. Well, thank you all so much for your patience as we got this party started. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I am so grateful to y'all for being here tonight. And for those of you that do not know me, I'm Robert Hartwell. I'm the founder of the Broadway Collective. And again, thank you for your patience as we made sure that all of you got in, because what originally happened with that first Zoom link is that it was only going to allow 100 of you to be on the call, but over 1,000 of you registered. And so I thank you for your patience, but this allows more friends to be here.
More friends.
More friends. Again, welcome. I think it's just time to go on ahead and meet the team that is going to be with us tonight. Kate, take it away.
Oh my goodness. All right, I'll take it away. Hi, friends. So for those of you who don't know me yet, my name is Kate Lumpkin, and I am a casting director based out of New York City. When I work with the Broadway Collective, I am the head of education, which is a title I'm very proud of, and I love being a part of this company. But outside of this company, I have my own casting firm called Kate Lumpkin Casting. Very proud that my name is on the door. And as a casting director, I've worked both in film and TV and in musical theater. For a long time, I worked at Fox, and I was working on all of their TV shows, some shows you might know that I worked on, like Scream Queens, and oh my goodness, and I was on the team for Rocky Horror Picture Show when we did that, and Grease Live, and all sorts of fun things. And now, at Kate Lumpkin Casting, I am the resident casting director for the National Symphony Orchestra at the Kennedy Center. I am the resident CD for Celebrity Cruises and for the Bandstand First National Tour right now. And I also work for lots of regional theaters and in New York, off-Broadway, all over the place, specializing in new plays and new musicals. I'm also an educator. I have worked at over 30 universities and colleges all across the US as a guest artist, and have had the privilege of working with so many amazing musical theater BFA students all across this country. So yeah, that's me in a nutshell. I also went to school for musical theater and for anthropology. I was an actor for a long time, and now I spend most of my time in creative rooms, either casting, directing, or writing. That's me in a nutshell.
Come on, Kate Lumpkin. Come on. Come on. Oh, she does more than try. I'm going to introduce you guys to Jacob in just a second, who is our SAT prep coach wizard ninja. But I'm Robert Hartwell. I'm from Raleigh, North Carolina. I am a graduate of the University of Michigan's BFA musical theater program. I moved to New York City 10 years ago, which is so wild to me that it has been 10 years. But I have to say, my dad is an educator, so I always just like knew, I think deep down inside, that education was definitely going to be on the path for me. So after I graduated from the University of Michigan with my BFA in music theater, I moved here to New York City, and I've had the opportunity to do 2 national tours, Dreamgirls the musical and also Motown the musical. And I've also had the opportunity to be in 5 Broadway musicals here in New York City, starting with my Broadway debut in Memphis the musical, Nice Work If You Can Get It, Cinderella, Motown, and Hello Dolly with Bette Midler. I am so in love with the work that we get to do here as educators at the Broadway Collective. But on top of that, when I'm not busy at the Collective, I am a director, choreographer, and I have worked both here in New York City at Lincoln Center and Pace University, as well as being the assistant director of the Once on This Island First National Tour. And also I'm currently working on a production of Memphis at North Carolina Theater. So that's kind of me.
As what, Robert?
As what?
In what capacity?
I am the director and I am the choreographer.
Oh, okay.
And without further ado, here is Jacob Burns.
Hello, everybody. Yes, my name is Jacob Burns. I'm originally from Detroit, Michigan, and I now live in New York City. I am an actor, dancer, and singer, and I've worked as a performer all around the country and in New York, but I am also an SAT prep instructor. Yes, while I've decided to pursue a career in the performing arts, academics have been and continue to be a huge part of my life. I scored in the 99th percentile on both the SAT and the ACT when I took them. I am a National Merit Scholar finalist, an AP Scholar with distinction, and I graduated high school as valedictorian. I got my BFA in musical theater from Texas State University on a full ride academic scholarship where I got my minor in political science, received national recognition for playwriting, and graduated summa cum laude from the Honors College. So I've been doing all sorts of academic things even while I've been pursuing a career in the arts. I tutored throughout high school and college, and I knew I wanted to use those skills to supplement my career as a performer. So on my very first day in New York City, this is true, I sat in an office building for 4 hours and took the entire SAT as part of a job interview. And I now teach as an SAT instructor in New York City at schools in the area. So Robert, who I've worked with for months and is incredible, has brought me on board the team to create and lead the first ever Broadway Collective SAT boot camp. Woo! I know what you're going through. Yes, I've taken these tests recently. I went through the college audition process not too long ago myself. I'm really excited about the program we've developed for you, and I'm excited to talk about it more later. But for now, Robert, I'll hand it back to you.
Imagine if our first day in New York, we had to take the SAT, Robert.
It would not have gone well. It would not have gone well, which is why
this is your prerequisite.
So one, I'm just so grateful to be doing this program and sharing this program with you all, and what an incredible team that we have. The comments are coming in and they're like, y'all are legendary. Jacob, you're a genius. Kate, you are queen. It is really exciting what we get the opportunity to do, but I always say truly like the dream of it all are the people that we get to do it with. So thank y'all so much. So here's the thing, I'm just gonna run you through really quickly our agenda for tonight. One, we are gonna hit, I know we have already given you all pre-work, but we are gonna hit what a pre-screen is. And then we are going to go into what the process has the ability to be. And then we're gonna talk about how the process can be different with pre-screen prep because it is streamlined, structured, and also then how we get the opportunity to get success for our students because of it. And most importantly, how we are going to be able to help you. And I know a lot of you are on this call and you're like, Robert, I am ready to register. How do I do this? Because you all know that we only have 5 spots because this is a very, very private, personal program. It is our one program where it is true one-on-one coaching. So we only have 20 spots, meaning we have 5 spots left. So just know at the end of this call, and we are going to be respectful of your time. I'm really aiming for us to be out of here in about 45 minutes. What we will do at this end of this call, we are going to give you a link and we are going to cross our fingers for you. And from there, you can go to register. We will have to close the cart. We will close registration once we hit those 5 spots. So if you go to, go to that registration page and it's down and you refresh and it's still down, it's probably because those 5 spots went away. But just so everyone knows, the program, because I know a lot of you are like, Robert, how much does it cost? It is a 9-month payment plan, 9 monthly payments of $499, or you can save $500 by paying in full $39.95. So that is our agenda for tonight. And I'm gonna let Kate take it from here.
Hi. Brilliant. So the first thing that we wanted to talk about today is what is a pre-screen? What is it and why was it created? So as a casting director, I have intimate knowledge of pre-screens, what they're useful for and why they were created. For those of you who don't know, and you should, because you had some reading you were supposed to do before you got here, a pre-screen is basically, it's a little sampler. I like to call a pre-screen a sampler platter. It is a taste of your talent. And the reason that it was created, technically a pre-screen is a video sample that typically has 2 short cuts of a song, 2 brief monologues, and a dance combination. That's what you'll typically find asked for of you from colleges. And what the reason that they were created is we have so many people who want to do this now, so many people who want to go to school for this, that what all of the academic organizations need is they need to be able, like I said, to kind of sample the talent, to taste the talent, to see what people have to offer so that they can narrow down what it is that they specifically are looking for their university and then offer slots to audition after that. Because what happened was this, back in the olden days, when Robert and I were auditioning for colleges, this process was not something that was really happening because musical theater was not nearly as widespread in terms of people wanting to do this professionally and also wanting to do it on a collegiate level. Now the numbers are astronomical, right? We've seen how many people want to do this. And so colleges are taking the time to review all of these tapes. And since every college is looking for something different, they're reviewing all of these tapes and finding the people that they want to offer live audition spots to. So that's kind of what a pre-screen is, right? It is a tape where you follow the requirements that a college has asked of you, that you then submit, that's then reviewed by that college and by any college that you're applying to. And after those pre-screens are reviewed, then you are either granted or not granted an in-person audition. Now again, pre-screens are not necessarily the only way to judge your talent, but what I will say as a casting director, I watch pre-screens for auditions all the time, and they're a very, very, very useful tool. And if you know how to do them, if you know how to do them well, they're not scary. It's a wonderful tool, and they're super, super useful. So I understand why colleges do it. We can't begrudge them for it. It's a necessary tool, and if you know how to do them and if you have a team to help you, it's going to be a not so scary process. Does that make sense, Robert?
Yes, I love that. There are a couple of questions coming in. People are saying how many spots are left per session? Between the 2 sessions, there are 40 spots altogether. So there are 20 spots in session 1, 20 spots in session 2. There are 2 spots in session 2, and there are 3 spots in session 2. That just I say that backwards.
Session 1, I think, and 3 spots in session 2.
2 in session 1 and 3 in session 2. So there are 5 spots left. So apologies if anyone was confused about that. Also, some people are saying, I thought registration opened on Sunday. No, the website says registration closes on Sunday. So tonight is the info session where we will then give you the registration link at the end of this call. And then on Sunday, registration closes. I'm sure registration will probably end up closing tonight because the spots will go away. But I just want you to know that as you have questions, we will definitely be taking them throughout the evening, okay? What I want to talk to you all really quickly about is what you get the opportunity to do here. What you get the opportunity to do with pre-screening prep is one of 2 things. I think a lot of people come to this college audition process with a lot of anxiety, with a lot of fear, with a lot of confusion, and it's simply because they do not have a team supporting them. And they're getting information from here, they're getting information from there, they're asking this person to shoot this video, this person to choreograph this thing, and it becomes a very overwhelming process. So what I want you to know is that you have the opportunity tonight to align with something that is going to be streamlined and that is going to give you focus and clarity, because I believe mindset is everything. And we truly have the opportunity, and I've seen it in our students and our parents that have gone through this program, to not make this time stressful. Truly, that's what we get the opportunity to do, is to do something and to actually allow it to be joyful.
Yeah, and I think the way that we do that is by making the entire process, I keep doing this with my hands when I say the word, but streamlined. I don't know why, maybe it's my little shark. But that's the thing that I think is so incredibly helpful about this program. The reason I'm really proud to be a part of it is that we've taken all of the bits and pieces. There's so many moving parts in this pre-screen and college audition process that it can be really, really, really overwhelming. And I think something that we do really beautifully and that I'm really proud of is that we help you attack all of those little bits and create a really streamlined, really focused, and really structured process where you are held accountable, where there is someone to say, hey, this thing is due, have you done this thing, meet me in this group, and it's all taken care of. You have a family and you have people who are helping you find those bits and pieces, keep the structure, keep it streamlined and centered, and also the most important thing we talk about at the Broadway Collective a lot, accountability. Having the people on your team to say, hey, boo, we got you, and also, where's your work? Making sure that you have those people who are gonna help you. And that's something that I think a lot of people crave and something that we're really proud we can provide.
I love that, Kate. Some people are asking, Robert, how are there only 5 spots left? So here's the thing. At the Broadway Collective, we are a family, yes? We get to meet students on our national tour, Hello Broadway Live. We also have students in our year-long online program, Hello Broadway. We also have our summer program, Gathered NYC. So what happens is when we work with those students, with a program like Prescreen Prep, we open the registration to them because they are already in the family before we open it to the general public, people that are completely new to the family. Because if a student has been working with us for 2 to 3 years in Hello Broadway, I need to make sure that we're also able to get them into the college that they're hoping to get into with a program like Prescreen Prep. So that is why there are 5 spots. Also, someone asked, there is supposed to be another wave of the coronavirus in the fall. What will happen? So here is the beauty of this program. 5 weeks of the program are completely spent online. There is only 1 weekend in New York City. None of us know what is going to happen in the world, but what I do know is right now, universities across the country are planning to begin to take a new incoming class that is going to start in the fall of 2021. So regardless of what ends up happening, 1, we are going to do the prep work. If we have to move the weekend or adjust accordingly, we will then do that. But I want you to know, we're not gonna know what's happening truly until we see what's gonna happen. Every day is unknown, but what I do know is that you better get ready now so you don't have to get ready. Because truly, these people are going to, regardless of what's happening in the world, be expecting pristine pre-screens in the fall.
And while every day is unknown, can I just pop in and say every day is also an opportunity to make sure you are on top of the wave and not in the middle of the wave, right? So we've got to think about no matter what's going to happen, everything is an opportunity to stay on top of your life.
Say that. So we're going to talk really quickly about what matters before the pre-screen. One of the things that I have learned really quickly going through this process now is your SAT scores, your ACT scores, your grades, they matter. They matter deeply, they matter greatly, which is why we have now teamed with Jacob to bring this SAT bootcamp to you all, because you know how the process goes. You've watched the videos, you've read our PDFs. You have to be accepted into the university before you can submit that pre-screen. Then from the pre-screen, you have to be given a yes. From the yes of that pre-screen is then the in-person audition. After the in-person audition is then the school sitting and deliberating of who will then become part of their incoming class. So I want you to know that although we are artists and although we love Broadway and although we love all of this, the thing that is really going to matter, which is why we are doing SAT prep this year, are the grades and the standardized test scores.
So once we have thought about our grades and our standardized test scores, now again, all of you have all of this information. We have this beautiful pre-screen timeline that shows all of the things that are happening and when you need to be doing them. And there was also a PDF that has the 8 things that you can be doing to prep right now. And the next thing that we want to talk about is making those college lists, right? These are things that you can be doing at this point in time to make sure that you are on top of everything. So now that we've thought about those SATs and those grades and all of those things, you need to start thinking about making those college lists. Yes? What do you think, Robert?
I think that that is fantastic. Also, if you have downloaded that PDF, and again, it is literally right underneath us. It's right there where it says follow along with the webinar PDF. Download that. Kate and I have spent hours upon hours getting all of that information together for you for free so that you can make this process simpler on yourselves and on your family. So if you have the PDF, do me a favor and just in the comments below, will you just put I got it, boo. And I will know that you've got the PDF. The next thing that we would say for you to start doing during this time is start reaching out for your recommendation letters now, because people are home. People are at their computers. People are in a place where they have the time to begin writing recommendation letters for you. The other thing that I would do is sit down with your parent and your family and to truly start having a conversation after you compile the list that Kate just said and have a budget conversation. That is very real, right? Because these schools, many of them are extremely expensive. So we really want to make sure that you are going after schools that align with what your family is able to provide for you, or making sure that you're going to be able to take the necessary loans out to be able to experience the education that you are after. And the last thing that I would say about recommendation letters is make sure that you are being judicious about who you are asking for recommendation letters. I have received numerous requests from students that I have met on the national tour, and they have said, can you please write a recommendation letter for me? And I think about it and I say, I'm so sorry, friend, but I'm not able to do that because I've only spent 2 hours in a studio with you. I'm not able to assess your work ethic, your skills, your growth, because we've worked together for such a small amount of time. So make sure that when you are reaching out to those people, you are giving them enough time and breadth so that they are able to share the best of you on paper so that you can then share that with universities.
Okay, so now that you've made your college list, you've been really thoughtful about what's going to really serve you in your educational experience, you've started gathering all of the things. Now it's time to talk about what matters during? I've never said during in my life, during the pre-screen process. Yes, now there's something we like to talk about a lot at the Collective, which is that Olympic mindset. The pre-screen and audition process, my friends, is a marathon. It is not a sprint. It lasts the better part of a year from start to finish. So we've got to get in the place where we are ready to be the Olympic athletes that I know you all are, Olympic athletes of the mind, the heart, the spirit, and the dedication, right? That's where we need to get. So we get to do this once, right? Usually people do this process one time in their life, and we want you to be making it a great time. The only way to make things a great time is to be as prepared as possible, to be as connected and as whole and as warm and doing it as a group as possible. And also to really, really, really get in the mindset, like I said, that this is a marathon, not a sprint. And if we're all in this together and we are working as a team, then it's going to be a whole lot easier than if you're going at it alone and you are not taking the time to really, really, really prepare yourself in a way that you can actually enjoy this process, which you can enjoy it, I promise. It can also be fun. It's not just scary. It's not just overwhelming. If we get all of our little ducks in a row, it can be really, really, really enjoyable as well.
Say that, Kate. Say that. Some friends are asking in the comments, do we need to have arts teachers or academic teachers, I would reach out to 2 to 3 academic teachers that you trust and know your work. And I would reach out to 2 to 3 artistic teachers as well. If you've ever worked at a regional theater, like one of our students, Evan, who works at North Carolina Theater, if I were him, I would reach out to maybe one of maybe a board member there, or maybe the artistic director, someone that knows him, someone that has a title and a position in the industry, because those things do matter. They do matter. So really, really great question. So the other thing to piggyback off of what Kate is saying is, I tell our students all the time that, again, does it have the ability to be stressful? Yes, but I know that students in pre-screen prep have really found a peace about this because 1, they have a team, 2, we have a timeline that is structured that delivers results. The other thing is mindset. I tell our students all the time, discipline is remembering what you want. I need you to put that in the comments right now. Discipline is remembering what you want, because we are going to do a lot of work in those 8 weeks with Jacob in the SAT boot camp. And then we are going to do a lot of work in that 5 weeks of getting your 2 songs together, your 2 monologues together, your 2 dances together, getting your outfit together, figuring out what you're going to wear in that headshot. Sprucing up that college essay and that resume. We're going to be working with a licensed therapist. We're going to be working with a mindset coach. Like, there's a bunch that we're going to be doing in those 5 weeks. But the only way that we find success on that path is discipline, discipline, discipline. So if what I want is to get into X college, then the discipline today is what is going to get me there, okay? So is it a lot? Yes, but when you've been given a lot in life, more is required of you. And I believe you're on this call because some of you have a deep gift that you can't think of anything other than the American musical theater stage to share it. And that is going to require some education. That's going to require an education, and it's going to require a choice right now to remember that discipline is remembering what you want.
Yes, 100% agree. I think, we like to say that the difference between an amateur and a professional is preparedness and truth, right? So now is the time to figure out what your truth is, which is what Robert is saying, and then getting prepared. Being disciplined about both of those things, staying true to who you are and staying true to your preparation. And the way we do that, friends, is by staying on top of our deadlines, creating a very strict calendar, and understanding time management. These 3 things are going to be what gets you through this process. Now, here's the beautiful part about pre-screen prep. A lot of that calendar is made for you. There is structure inherently built into this program. A lot of the deadlines that you are going to need to know are things that you're going to have to find for yourself. Yes, the deadlines for the specific colleges you're auditioning for, all of those things, but we are going to make sure you have done that work, and then we are going to help hold you accountable. Yes, deadlines, making your calendar, and also really being on top of your time management. I cannot begin to emphasize that enough. Time management, at the end of the day, we will be holding you accountable for things that you owe to us, but you have got to figure out how to make sure you have enough time in a week to get everything done. And my loves, you're going to have a workload outside of this as well that's going on at school. So something you can take this time right now to work on is figuring out a really detailed time management schedule of how you're going to make sure to get everything done. What a beautiful use of this time that we have now, figuring all of that out.
Come on. The other thing is, Kate always says, how you show up is how I then can help you. Is how I then can take you to the next level. So again, pre-screen prep is completely built on one-on-one coaching. So if Kate is my vocal coach and I am, her what would I call myself? Her student.
Yeah, my student.
My student, I would show up to my vocal coaching with my material beyond memorized. I would be ready to get in the room, right? And I noticed that the students that showed up to their pre-screen prep coachings, their private coachings last year, the ones that walked into those Zoom calls with us, ready to walk into a room because they had done so much work on their own, we were then able to take them to the next level. I'm going to tell you, wherever you meet us, what we're really good at is elevating, right? But where we get to elevate you has everything to do with what you bring into the room. And I know some of you are like, wait, what are you talking about? Just don't forget that at Prescreen Prep, we pick all of your material for you, your songs, your monologues, your dances. We're providing this for you. It is a completely catered, done for you service so that the guesswork of what should I do, how do I do, is taken out, yes? So again, how you show up to that call is truly the base level for then where we can take you.
Yeah, and that doesn't mean that you have no say in what you end up doing and how all that works. But what I want to say is this: the team of people who we have, myself included, Robert, and all of the other people that we bring in, we know what we're doing. So there has to be an element of trust. When Robert says, we pick your material for you, we are going to provide options that might be things that you've never heard of before, that might be music that challenges you, that might be something that you've never thought of before. But what you need to do is put some trust in people who do this every day. When I say I watch thousands of pre-screen tapes in a year, I do. I watch people record footage of them doing what they do every single day of my life. I'm really good at knowing what works and what doesn't. So the other people who were most successful last year were the people who would show up and be really open to listening to ideas, be really opening to exploring new pieces of their art, new pieces of themselves, and who could jump in and say, yeah, I think that feels like me. Let's play and let's try this. So I ask you, friends, to work smarter, not harder. The people who worked, when I say work harder, I'm not saying please don't work hard, right? Like we have to work hard to be able to do this career, to be able to do all of this. But people who were resistant, people who thought they could just barrel through and figure things out, that is not, in my opinion, the best way to approach anything that is a great challenge. It's looking at all of the pieces, working outside in, and working smarter. Trusting people who do this to help you pick things, trusting your coaches, trusting that you can get through this process if we take in lots of the information, digest it, and then respond to it. When we work on the defense, it's not always the smarter approach to the work that we're doing.
Come on, Kate. Elle just asked, do we have to choreograph a piece for auditions or can we use one that's already choreographed? Again, if any of you are in our Broadway Study Hall Challenge right now, you saw how we shared with you choreography that is already done for you. You will have a vocal coach, you will have a dance coach, you will have an acting coach, you will have a wardrobe stylist, you will have an essay coach, you will have all of these people that are privately put with you. So this Broadway dance coach will give you a choreographed piece of material for you with an MP3 track that you will be able to rehearse with and record with. So again, everything is done for you. Like it's kind of this like really incredible, like it's like kind of out of control what we get the opportunity to do. But what I now want to start talking to you all about, we talked about what we would focus on before the pre-screens. We talked about what we would be focusing on during the pre-screens. We now want to talk to you about what we would be focusing on after. And what we want you to remember is that remaining flexible in this process is the key to longevity and the key to sanity, okay? Which is why, Kate's gonna talk about this in just a moment, but why do we make our students and encourage our students to get those applications in as early as possible, in September, in October? Why do we require that? Because we want them to be able to, when the colleges come back with who passed pre-screens and who didn't, we want them to still be able to find options. So say you reached out to 15 schools, and you sent in your pre-screen, but only 5 came back accepting you, then that gives us the opportunity to be flexible and find more options from that, like finding schools that were not originally on your list that may be at the Unifieds, that may do walk-ins, so that we can continue to be flexible so that in the spring, we are not getting what I call letters, but we are getting packets. Packets say welcome. Letters say, I'm so sorry, thank you so much. And I want more packets for our students than we do letters. And that is directly connected to us being flexible during this process.
Here's the other reason that it's really important to get your tapes in early. As I was saying before, I watch a lot of self-tapes, and there is what I like to call self-tape fatigue. And what happens when you get your tapes in that first wave, when we get our tapes in before the first deadline, is that you get fresh eyes watching those tapes. You get eyes full of hope and excitement and ready to go energy watching those tapes. People are always a little more lenient in the beginning, and they're always a little more excited when they're watching those tapes. So the benefit of being on top of everything and making sure that your tapes are in that very first wave is that, like Robert said, you're going to get your yeses and your nos very quickly. So you're going to be able to figure out and adjust and make your life schedule a little bit faster and easier. But also, the people watching those tapes are going to be more excited and more energetically present when they're watching them. It's just true. You guys, we're all on Zoom now. We're all on FaceTime a lot. You are experiencing screen fatigue, yes? So you can imagine if you have hundreds and hundreds of tapes coming your way, you're gonna feel some of that as well. You wanna be in that first round. You wanna be so there when they're really present. So I think that is another thing that's really essential. This also sets you up for life beyond college. I just got to throw this little truth in. You're going to be doing self-tapes a lot in your life. You're going to be doing pre-screens for things after college. You're going to do them for Broadway shows and tours and cruises and everything. If you start to train yourself now that getting your tape in early and not on deadline day is going to be a saving grace in this process, you are setting yourself up for a greater amount of success moving on down the line. So why not start now and get it in our bones so we're ready to do it when we're professionals as well?
Come on. And here's the thing, just so we have some reference dates as well, what Kate is saying is so right. Why we have this process happen so early is that we want your stuff to get in early, because the early bird, they get the worm, okay?
Oh, look at the whole brunch, honey, not just the worm.
I love it. So our session 1 students, you will come to New York City August 21st through the 23rd, that weekend, to record your pre-screens. By September 1st, we will have everything delivered back to you. Your videos, your essay, your resume, your videos, like everything back to you. Session 2, you will have everything back to you by September 29th. That means at the latest, all of our students, whether you're in session 1 or session 2, we encourage session 1 to have their applications in by September 15th. We encourage session 2 to have your stuff in by October 1st. And it is possible because we are going to make sure that we keep you on a strict deadline and a trajectory to be able to make sure that everything that you need to get done is done. Because truly, the session 1 students, you get your stuff back September 1st. Hey, if you want, click send on September 2nd. Why not? Come through. So give me one second. I just got a little lost where I was. We were talking about deadlines, staying flexible. And the last thing that we would say is trusting that what worked in your pre-screen will work in the audition room. So many of our students after pre-screen prep may say to themselves, or like, oh, wait, I want to change all my material. And we're like, boo, you just passed the University of Michigan pre-screen. Like the material was good enough for them. Like it works, it's good. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it, okay? So definitely, truly just know that you can trust what worked in the pre-screen. All right, friends, shall we bring in some friends? And Dal, you can go on ahead and have Alana join us in as well. And we will also have Rosie come in, and we will also have Joseph. So we have 3 of our, oh, this is so fun. This is so fun. We have 3 of our, Alana, turn your camera because it's, there you go.
There she is.
There you go. So we have 3 of our students that just went through pre-screen prep with us to join us. And I'm going to let them in really quickly. Rosie, wave. Alana and Joseph. Hello, hello. So friends, I want to ask you, and you've got like 30 seconds to tell us, how did pre-screen prep set you up for success? Alana, we'll start with you.
One thing I would say is networking. That's one thing we don't talk about, but I met panelists on our first night, and that's where I met Amy Rogers. So having talked to her before going into the audition room in Chicago really set me up for success because we had amazing conversation and I knew her prior, so yeah.
That's amazing. And for our friends that do not know who, Rosie, do you mind? Thank you. For our friends that do not know who Amy Rogers is, just everyone know that we do a college faculty panel the first night of your pre-screen prep weekend. So Alana, tell those friends out there who Amy Rogers is.
Amy Rogers is the director of musical theater at Pace, and she's just incredible. She's a great person with amazing life advice, and yeah, she's awesome.
I love it. I love it. It's so good to see you. Joseph, how about you?
Okay, so for me, I had no info about what pre-screens were entirely before coming in. I started theater junior year and I came in and I was like, what are we doing? And so this program completely prepared me in every way, shape, or form, but it not only prepared me to pass the pre-screens, it helped me in the aftermath, which you really have to talk about, of the on-campus auditions, because once you get past, it's great. But then how do you finish the, like, as we were talking about a marathon, how do we go over the finish line? And literally Kate called me out every time when I would get stressed and be like, I think I need to change this. I think we're doing the wrong thing. And she would literally call me out and say, it worked before, stop doubting yourself. And because of her, I was able to walk into every single audition and know that no matter what the little voices in my head say, I had people who believed in me, who set me up, and who gave me this material. So I'm going to use it and perform it.
Come on, Kate. Are you just like...
I'm like, it's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine.
Just like sobbing. Rosie, how about you? Thank you for that, Joseph.
So yes, not only are you getting like professionally selected materials, but you're getting coached the entire way. So using that same material that I was coached on absolutely helped me in the audition room because I also got into musical theater late. And also the stylist at the pre-screen prep helped me to not change my style, but make sure I was bringing myself out entirely during auditions. And I can tell you, I looked very different from a lot of the other kids there who were in like very plain, like old school style. Whereas, you know, pre-screen prep helped me figure out like how to be spunky in myself and stand out. Also with the videos being so professional, a lot of the schools have said, you know, following acceptances that they went back and reviewed our pre-screens multiple times. So not only does the pre-screen help you get to the live audition, but after the live audition, they watch them again. So it's really important that they're professional and good.
Okay, so quick fire round. Here is my question. What do you think would have been the hardest part of this process if you hadn't done it with us? What would have been the biggest like, oh man, how am I gonna approach this moment if you didn't have a team of people? Let's go backwards. Rosie.
Yeah, so mine definitely would have been selecting material. I would have not known where to start at all. And, you know, Kate working, you know, professionally in the business now knows what works and what doesn't. And I don't, you know? So that was, yeah, I would not have known how to approach that.
Well, okay, that's amazing. Yes. What about you, Joseph?
I would not have gotten anything in the time needed for it to be reviewed with an open heart. I would have probably done what I normally do and late November been like, okay, I finally got everything, send it. But there's this underlining date that if you wait too long, we're going to be tired. And there's a difference between when you first wake up and you're like, oh my God, I love the day. And then when you're going to bed and you're like, I can't wait for it to be over. And so getting that in on time was really the most helpful thing that I needed.
Yes, you did, my love. Yes, you did. I'm so grateful you did that with us as well. What about you, Alana?
I was also going to say material, but now I'm going to say pushing myself. I remember when we were in the pre-screen prep room and I was doing my song and it was with Kate and she was like, you can belt that last note. And I was like, Kate, no. She was like, yes, you can. And I did it. And it was like a really bringing experience for me. It just was really opened my mind to what I can do, and it helped in the audition room as well because I was able to do it. And yeah,
you were able to do it, and you can do it every time. Yes. Oh, I love that. Oh my goodness, Robert, I love humans.
In New York City right now, it's 7:00, and so this is the moment where we applaud for all of our essential workers, all of everyone that is out there like fighting to keep people in our country and our world alive right now.
It's so loud tonight.
I know there's just like drums and clanging. So like wherever you are in the world right now, like let's just give it up for all of those people because those are truly the truest of true heroes. Students, I would love to know, what was something great that your parent did during the process that you wish other parents did for their student? Alana, let's start with you.
I would say agreeing to schedule time to talk about the entire college situation, because I think parents can be so eager to be in the process that sometimes it can be overwhelming to a student that is like handling all their work and following these guidelines that are really amazing and help. So sometimes I would just say, Mom, on this day of the week, I need to work. And then on this day of the week, we can talk and I'll fill you on everything that I'm doing so that we stay engaged without like making each other anxious. But yeah.
Oh, I love y'all so much. This just makes me so happy. Joseph, how about you?
The biggest thing that my mom did for me was she believed in me. And she always backed me, no matter what other people told her, because there were so many places when I went into the audition room, other parents would be like, I don't know if my kid's gonna do it. They were really stressed out this morning. I don't really know if she's gonna be okay. And that would bring the negativity into their children, and you'd see it in the audition room. When you as a parent believe in your child, they can do anything. I promise you that they will do anything. Because I felt so confident, not in only just my ability, but I had people behind me that I loved and that I cared for that said, you can do it. And no matter what all these other people think, I know that you're gonna do it.
I just got chills all over my arms.
My, come on. Rosie, how about you?
Something amazing that my parents did was supported me the entire way, but also trusted me that this was what I want to do. It's what I needed to do. They let me trust you guys with pre-screen prep, like take that huge leap. And during unifieds and during auditions and completing all the work, you know, they were like, this is your dream. This is you fixing this. So they weren't like hovering like, oh, you need to do this like this. They let me, you know, do what I needed to do while still supporting me and being there the entire time.
You know what that just made me think? One, I have literal goosebumps, like just hair standing up, because I'm sure you remember this, Rosie, but I just remembered this. Rosie was at Gather this past summer and also the summer before. And when we met Rosie 2-3 years ago at our national tour, she had never done musical theater before. She hadn't sang before. And she just started doing the work. And this past summer when Rosie was at Gathered, I was watching her and I was like, oh, you can like do this thing, you know? And I pulled her aside at dinner one night and I was like, so here's the thing. You have to do this. Like, I love that you want to go to college for dance, but you should go to college for musical theater because like this is gonna happen for you. And I remember you going up to Mom being like, so I think I should do pre-screen prep. And like, boo, look at you. options. You got schools to go to. Come on. All right. I love y'all so much. Thank you so much for being here with us. We love y'all. Hey, wait. Okay, I see moms. Unmute yourselves right now. Tenley, we're gonna start with you. What was this process like? What was the best part of it for you as a parent?
It was all amazing. I mean, I remember crying in Kate's arms at Gathered, like, can we do this? Can this happen? I think the best part, and I will say this to all the parents out there, the price at first, I was like, woo, and my husband said it the best. He said, we have put money and time into something she loves. Why would we put the brakes on now? Like, that would be the dumbest thing. Like, let's let her dive into this head first. And I'm telling you, it's so worth it. It's incredible. It's been an incredible experience from beginning to end.
Mama Casper, get up in here, Miss.
So I agree. When we were sitting and Gathered, and I realized that, like, in a few months, it was time for Joseph to start planning for all of this. We didn't know what a prescreen was. And I remember panicking, and I remember you, Robert, looking at me going, we've got you. And it all calmed down. And because we trusted y'all. And it's been the best thing we have ever done.
I love you.
Ever.
I love you.
Because he knows what to do now. Because he listens and he does what you guys say. And he does the work. So there's no money I can put to that. There's no monetary value. It's priceless.
Just kind of like.
Thank you for pouring into my son.
I love y'all. Thank y'all for trusting us. Like, truly, we love y'all. Get out of here before we start crying. I love y'all. Bye. I love you, Rosie, Alana, Joseph. So we are now going to bring Jacob back in. P.S. How are y'all doing in the chat? How's everybody? We are... Okay, good. Okay. People are like, I'm crying too. Amazing. So friends, in the chat really quick, tell us what has been the most helpful thing so far. What has been the most helpful piece of advice so far for you? Put that in the comments for us, just so we make sure that we are right in line helping y'all out. Okay, good. Amazing. Good stuff coming in. So the reason, again, that we added the SAT Bootcamp this year is because one of our students, just full transparency, one of our students, they had a dream university that they wanted to go to. And this student is superbly talented. I mean, wildly talented, so much talent. And this student knew faculty members at this university. The university was rooting for this. I mean, it's a big university, was rooting for this student to be a student there. And the student put their application into the university, and the university said, oh, so sorry. We hear that you're very talented, but your SAT score does not meet the requirements for our university. So that student was then not even allowed to then give their pre-screen to the faculty to review, because they did not get into the university. And if you don't get into the university academically, you can't then present your artistic portfolio. And if you can't present your artistic portfolio, you can't get an audition in person. And if you don't get an audition in person, you don't get a yes or a no to that program, yes? So we said, enough is enough. We're gonna equip our students. We're gonna prepare them, because that's what our mission is, to train the next generation of Broadway artists. And that requires both the artistic work and the academic work. So let's please welcome Jacob Burns back. And Jacob, I just want to ask, what did your incredible 99th percentile test scores do for you?
Yeah, first of all, hi everyone. Glad to be back. So test scores are an easy thing to let slip under the rug, right? We're going to college for the arts. Why do we need those SAT scores? But they do matter. Like Robert said, you're auditioning for universities, not just musical theater programs, or applying for them, but also musical theater programs want smart performers, right? They have a limited time to get to know you. So for better or worse, your test scores get to speak for you in a lot of ways. You know, I was fortunate enough to have a really successful college audition season when I went through it. And when I was deciding where to go, I had a lot of programs tell me that one of the big things that pushed me over the edge and got me accepted were my test scores, and they were excited to see what I could bring to the table. I mean, I remember Brent Wagner, who ran the program at Michigan, when I was auditioning, said to me and my parents in a meeting that out of everything, what excited him most about me was how well-rounded I was as a student. So it's that, but it's also scholarship money, right? 10 points on the SAT or just 1 point on the ACT can be the difference between literally thousands of dollars in scholarship money. So if you go look at colleges' websites, they outline what scores you need to get what kind of money. And I ended up being able to go to my dream school on a full ride scholarship. And that means my parents didn't spend a dime on college, and I have zero student loan debt now. So without that, I don't know how I'd be able to live in New York and focus on building a career. So anything we can do together to help you save money in the long term is better.
Oh my goodness, that's incredible. Just incredible. All of that is incredible. So I'm wondering, it's called SAT Bootcamp. Are the skills that people are going to learn through this programming transferable also to the ACT?
Yeah, definitely. So a lot of the things that we will be focusing on are SAT specific, right? We're going to use the SAT as our baseline. However, the tests require really the same approach, especially, you know, to reading and math. They're just different question types. So the test taking strategies we cover, how to approach the test, as well as just the test taking practice and getting those hours in of practice will definitely translate to the ACT. But the focus of the course will definitely be on the SAT.
Amazing. So do you want to walk us through what it's going to look like? I know, Robert, you had a question about this as well.
Oh, Robert. Yeah.
That's perfect. That's perfect. Yes, please.
Great. So we both have the same question. Can you kind of walk us through what the weeks of programming are going to look like?
Yeah, absolutely. Great. So as far as we know, this will be the first ever SAT prep course designed specifically for students pursuing a career in musical theater. How exciting is that? Yeah, this is a program designed from my experience as an SAT instructor, but also as an applicant and as a performer. And our goal here is to maximize your potential. So before I get into like the week by week breakdown of this course, I want to make something clear that I think is really important, which is that the SAT is one test, right? It's one specific test. It is not a black and white measure of how smart you are. There are incredibly smart people that don't necessarily get test scores that reflect that ability. And it's my job to help show yourself in your best light. And that's possible with the right preparation and the right strategies. So I encourage you, if your takeaway from this section of this webinar is to think about the SAT like an audition, right? You set yourself up for success by being the best prepared person in the room. And so even if you're not the best person for the role, you still go in and kill that audition, right? So even if you're not, even if you're sitting there freaking out and thinking, I'm not a great test taker, I'm never gonna do well on the SAT, we are gonna get you ready to take that test and to find success. So the way it will work is this. Before the course begins, you'll take a practice test that will serve as a starting place for us to track your progress as we go. And then for the first 5 weeks, you'll have video lectures to watch and homework to do. And then later in that week, for each week, we'll do a live Q&A over Zoom like this for me to be there to answer your questions, clarify anything that doesn't make sense, and work through some of the homework problems. So week 1, we'll do an introduction, big thoughts, ideas of how to approach the test, the course itself. And then we'll dive right into the reading tests. That means covering the structure of the test, how to read those passages most effectively, and every type of question you might run into when you're taking the test. You'll spend that week practicing the reading test before we dive into our first Q&A. And then week 2, we'll keep moving along to the writing test. We'll learn what to look for in your answer choices and narrowing down your answers, but also reviewing all sorts of fundamentals that you'll run into, right? Parts of speech, sentence structure, punctuation, things that you might not have covered for years in school that need a refresher. How many of y'all know what all the functions of a semicolon are, right? You will after week 2. Kate's making a face. We'll then get into week 4, we'll get into the math test. math is half of the entire SAT. So we're going to spend lots of time on it. I love math, but I understand that a lot of my fellow artists do not. So I got you. We'll talk all about the mistakes people make on the math test, how to keep yourself working most efficiently, and again, all the fundamentals that might have slipped through the cracks: y equals mx plus b, factoring polynomials, systems of equations, all those things. If it's on the SAT, we'll talk about it. Week 5, we'll finish up with math and talk about some more strategy, how to maximize your time and how to set yourself up for success on the test day. And then we'll get ready to put our new skills into action for week 6, when we'll do a full practice test. And then that'll be a first shot to sort of digest all that information we've been barreling through without the high stakes of a testing room, right? And then the following week, we'll do an extended Q&A where we'll debrief, review, break down that test, figure out what went wrong, what went right, and then you get one more shot at it. We'll do another practice test the final week. We'll get our scores back, we'll see how we did, and by the end of the course, you'll have 3 practice tests under your belt, hours of video to review from, and all the knowledge and skills you need to go into the testing room or the audition room, if you want to think about it that way, feeling prepared and confident. So I'm very excited for everyone to get to try out this course.
Yay. Oh my goodness, that's incredible. And yes, I did make a face about the semicolon of it all, because I definitely don't think I remember all of the functions of a semicolon. So I'm definitely going to need to be there for that moment when you do the refresher.
This is so exciting. Like, this is so exciting because, you know, what we're, I think, always after and really aiming for is support. And the fact that we get to do this for 8 weeks and truly devote our time solely to the academic portion before we move into the artistic portion of the pre-screen development. I'm just so grateful. I'm so excited, Jacob. I'm so moved by your story. Like, I mean, you know, artists don't even think of those things, you know, thinking that, hey, if I get those scores up just a little bit, you're right, every point counts, and every point is literal thousands of dollars on the line. So while we have the opportunity over these next few months that we're going to be home, why not work on these things? So just thank you so much for that. Truly, truly, truly. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You are the best.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yes, Boot Camp Ninja.
Let's go.
Get out of here. You are the best. We'll see you at the SAT boot camp.
Let's go.
Bye, friend.
Bye.
So I want to talk to you all really quickly about the idea of working smarter, not harder. So Kate is going to walk you through really quickly how this investment in pre-screen prep is going to save you literal thousands of dollars. And for those of you that are just joining us for the first time, I want you to know we are so close to being done with this evening, with this call. So thank you for your patience tonight. But I just want to remind you that at the end of this call, we will be sharing the link with you to be able to register for pre-screen prep, which, as you know, is our college audition coaching program. We have 5 spots still available, and I'm pretty sure those 5 spots will go away this evening, which is exciting. And I know a lot of you have been asking on the chat, Robert, what happens if, one, I can't afford pre-screen prep, or I don't get one of those 5 lucky spots? I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know yet. I do not know how we're going to help you. But what I will tell you is we are going to do our best to figure out how we can help you. There are only but so many of us on our team. Again, over 1,000 of you registered for this webinar tonight, and we have 5 spots. You know, this isn't like Gathered where we get to have 4 sessions of 40 students each and get to, you know, help 160 people. We only get to help 40 on this journey. So we'll figure something out. But the most important thing is that we get the opportunity tonight for those of you that are ready to continue that journey with us, to start that journey with us. You will be able to do that at the end of this call. So I'm going to give it over to Kate.
Okay, so anyone who knows me knows that I love the dollars and cents of it all. It is something that excites me very much. And so, as Robert said, I want to talk through working harder versus working smarter, and something that you could have seen, you should have already seen in the PDF that you all received earlier. I hope you found that really, really cute pink piece of paper that did a price kind of side-by-side comparison. Like I said earlier, this process has a lot of moving parts. And one of the things that makes me so happy is when I hear parents and students say, oh my gosh, it was so much easier to have someone else try to put all these moving parts together when I sat down and tried to price out finding all these different people and all of the time it was going to, take for me to find this coach and to find this studio space and to find someone to help us record and an accompanist and all these things. My mind was just going all over the place. And so what's brilliant is that we have a way to calm that chaos and to save you money while doing it. So I want to kind of talk through again, you're going to get your private coaching sessions, your weekly personalized feedback videos. You're going to have, like we said, an audition choreographer and a dance coach. You're going to have artistic statement coaching. These things, if you look at that sheet of paper, the numbers that are on that paper are kind of the average number, but not the highest number that you will find for those things. So again, we're talking about $500 for private coaching on your materials, about $500 for those weekly personalized feedback, $550 for an audition choreographer or a dance coach. This is what you are going to have to find if you don't work with us. About $250 for a wardrobe stylist. That's just for 1 hour. That's not anything beyond any of that. $200 for an artistic statement coaching. Again, that's an hourly rate. That's not having someone who's kind of in your back pocket at all times. That's 1 hour of coaching. $350 for rep selection. That's about the average you'll find for about an hour of help with rep selection. $400 for wellness coaching, $750 for a headshot session. And that was a pretty low, that was a medium to low. You'll find much higher than that for your headshot photos and also for getting those retouches. Edits usually cost an additional fee. About $1,250 for a professional video team, which is what you're going to get with us. About $300 for the professional video editing of the tape that you would get from that video team. About $250 for a college essay and resume coach. Again, that's an hourly rate. $13.95 for, SAT bootcamp, and that you can find people for way more than that. And about $850 just for rehearsal space. So that's just the space to be in to be helping with these things. Now, the beauty is, if you add all of those numbers together, that means if you're very lucky and you've done really good homework and you are able to schedule everybody and make all that happen, you're going to pay about $7,045. That would be what all of that would come together. If you work with us, it's going to be $39.95, which is a savings of $3,050. Now, the things I could do with that money, if you'd like to know, please just ask and I'll send you a list. But here's the real thing, because when I was sitting down and we were, making all of these things, I kept thinking something is really missing here. Something is missing. And what's really missing is the priceless hours of stress and fretting and organizing and worrying and trying to find those things, which of course there's no dollar amount on stress. There should be, I wish there was, because man, I'd be a multi-billionaire if I got $1 for every minute I was stressed. But we don't. And that energy is vital and important to both save for you, for your family, for the process. So I like to say all of those numbers because again, I am a dollars and cents person. I want to know what I'm getting and I want to make sure that what I'm paying is good and makes sense. And I'm here to tell you that this process and having a streamlined version of this process, having helpers, that is priceless. You cannot put a dollar amount on that. But when we even look at the dollars, you're still saving a trip to Disney World or 6 trips to Disney World in that money. So I like to kind of point that out because I think we look at a dollar amount and we go, oh my goodness. But when we break it all down piece by piece and you see what you're actually saving, not only in terms of actual hard money, but in terms of the pressure, the stress, all of those things, it's built in that you're not going to have to deal with those. So as your resident dollars and cents friend, I'm just here to let you know some of the facts. And again, you can find all of that information on that PDF that you got before this.
Come on, Kate Lumpkin. Come on. She just broke it all the way down. And one thing that we were thinking about for pre-screen prep, usually pre-screen prep is a 3-month payment plan, but because of everything that is happening in the world right now, we are really, really happy that we're able to offer you all a 9-month payment plan that breaks it down into 9 easy payments of $499 a month for those 9 months. Or again, you can save $500 by paying in full. And I know I'm seeing in the chat, people are like, where's the link? Where's the link? Y'all, the link is gonna come in the chat at the end of this, I promise. You will get fair warning, do not even worry. But we want to go on ahead and bring in, we are just a few minutes away from done. I promise you've got about like 5 more minutes in you, and then we will get that link to you. Are y'all having fun? Like, if you're having fun, like, just let me know, like, in the chat. I know some people are like, I'm so nervous. Some people are asking what are good pre-screen songs. Here's the thing, friends. That's what we do with our students. So that's what we're doing in the program. So you got to come get in the program to get that level of private coaching. So I hope that you will be able to join us. All right, so it looks like we have some of our kids in here. So welcome, Vivian. You can unmute yourselves. Hi, Vivian. Hi, Avery. Hi, Bailey.
Yes.
Amazing. So we're gonna hit a rapid fire really quickly. And if you aren't speaking, you can go on ahead and mute yourselves. I'm so happy that y'all are here. But we're gonna ask you the same questions that we asked your other friends. How did pre-screen prep set you up for success? And we'll start with Avery, then we'll go to Viv, and then we'll go to Bailey.
Hi guys, can you hear me? Is everything good?
Yes.
Okay, so I tend to procrastinate a lot. So this program really helped me to like stick to my timelines and make sure that everything was either on time, but really the best thing is to be early because all these schools, best thing, be early. Also, everything we film comes in like a package. So when I was doing my application, it was my application and my package, sliding everything right into the application. And it was so easy and calm because usually when I'm trying to be so perfect in doing something that I don't want to mess up, my mind is going everywhere. So this whole thing really just helped me to focus and actually have fun during the whole process.
Come on. And just a quick note right there, we've been getting some friends, international friends that are saying, does this work for us? I would say, one, Avery is in Canada and she's going to be, it's okay if I say?
Yes.
She's going to be attending Sheridan in the fall, which we are so, so happy. So actually, Avery is our second international student that has done this program. So it does work. Viv.
Hi. Okay, so I'd say the way that it best helped prepare me was, I have it written down so I wouldn't forget. But I wasn't really sure what to look for in a program of what made that program something that was not only just good and turning out good performers, but what made that program right for me and how would it grow and better me as a performer and prepare me for my career.
Come on, come on. Hey, Bailey.
Hi. Okay, so I would say it honestly just like lifted a whole weight off of my shoulders because I'm like always busy. I work 2 jobs. I wasn't even thinking about pre-screens. And my mom's like, you gotta start getting on this stuff. And this time last year, I was sitting where all of you guys are in this live when I was junior, and I was like, I don't even know what any of this stuff is. Like, how did I not know this? So I was like, yes, I'm signing up right now. And it, oh my gosh, it was a lifesaver because honestly, if I had to do this by myself, I would not have done half of the stuff that I did with you guys. And it honestly just helped me relax and not stress about it anymore and put my trust in myself because you guys trusted me. And yeah, it made me feel a whole lot better.
Oh, this makes me so happy. This makes me so happy. Kate.
I'm choking. Did you see me just inhale and choke? Sorry, you startled me. So I guess my question is the same one that I asked before, which is what part of this do you think would have been the most difficult part of the process if you hadn't had a team of people helping you? What about, let's go in reverse order. Let's start with Bailey.
Okay, for me, scheduling. I was thinking that, I know New York, I know I'm gonna go to New York Unified, so I'm gonna be fine. I know how all these studios work and everything. I'm a New Yorker, I got this. But I had to lay out a schedule because you guys told me how crazy Unifieds is and how crazy this whole process is and how busy it gets. And if I had not laid out that schedule, I would have been lost because you're running back and forth between different studios in the freezing cold and the snow because Unifieds is in January or depending on which Unified you go to. And honestly, also I had a problem with, I had 2 auditions that ended up getting scheduled at the same time, and I was able to talk to Kate, and she was like, oh, I got it. I'll help you. You're fine. And I got it moved around, and I didn't have to stress about it anymore. So scheduling helped, like, just knowing everything that's going to be happening, and you guys telling me that you need to be prepared to be crazy busy because it's going to be hectic, but it'll be fine.
And it was fine. You did it. You did it. All right, Viv, what about you, my love?
I think the thing that I was most worried about was walking into the room. And as crazy as that sounds, like, but walking in and being ready to be the best me and being ready to share, knowing that everything that I was bringing in was not only something that I had worked on, but it was something that had been chosen specifically to share Case Me the best, which I didn't really know how to choose the music to best suit me. And so that was a huge help and relief with all of that. So being ready to walk in and just be, here I am. Like, it was something that I was so worried about that this program completely helped me through and take care of.
I love that. I also love that you just used Broadway Collective terminology and you weren't even thinking about it. You just said, I was able to share Case myself. I love it. That makes me so happy. What about you, Avery? Oh, unmute yourself.
Oh, sorry. I'm coming.
We got it.
Okay. Definitely the pre-screen video itself would have been the hardest. I know some people that are also applying that do not have the space to be able to move and like show their true potential like in a space. So not only having the facilities to do so, but I am very critical of myself. I like to be a perfectionist and I do a million takes before I can even choose one to maybe submit. So this whole process kind of like forced me into knowing that one of my first 3 takes is going to be my best, because there's no such thing as perfection. All these schools want to see potential and they want to know that you're going to learn something from their program. And also that specific like having too many takes thing can also help when you're doing in-person auditions, especially if you're getting a call back for those same people. You're going to have one shot to sing that song, so you better do it at your best. And that's what that will teach you as well.
Ooh. Oh, Miss Thing. Yes, absolutely. That's right. I love that. I love that you feel that you understood that you can do your best work in your first 3 takes, and you've got
it. Was the first time that I heard that, really. Yeah.
But it'll stick with you. It'll stick with you for a lifetime, for sure. I love that. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much.
I have to say, one, I love all of y'all, but just when you listen, when I'm like listening to you, I'm like, oh, wow, you're right. I never thought about that. Like, if you were home, you know, doing this in your home dance studio or doing this in your living room or doing this in your bedroom, you wouldn't have the space to do the dance. You wouldn't have like the good lighting. You wouldn't have the acoustic balance of like the beautiful studios that we record in. But also the biggest part is like in the room when you're recording these pre-screens here in New York City, you have the coach that's been coaching you at the camera with you, and you don't get to like, we're on a time schedule. We've got a stage manager for this, and like, you don't get to take 20 takes like you would at home. And I think like, that's why y'all got the wins that you did, because you're like, all right, I got 3 shots at this. Let's hit this thing, you know? So proud, so proud, so proud. Last question that I would love to ask y'all is, what is something that your parents did that helped you feel supported that you would wish another student that's a junior right now that's getting ready to go through the same process as you would do? We'll start with Avery, then we'll go to Vivian, and then we'll end with Bailey.
Okay, so my amazing mom brought me to pre-screen prep, and before the film day, she made sure that A, B, and C were laid out and that I was all prepared. But when we got to film day, she let me do my business. She let me do my work, and she let me be great, because I knew that she had previously and still did throughout the whole day supported me, even though she was staying a step behind me, because she knew that this was my moment to do what I needed to do. So we love our parents because they sit there all day. They sit there waiting for us while we're doing our best work. And so she let me do my work, but she was always there. She had food, she had drinks, and she had that hug when I needed it, because we know it's a long day, we need that hug. So she let me do my work. She was there to support me, but she also took a step back to let me be great, because sometimes that's where people get stuck, because they're not letting them be great when that's what they want them to be.
Viv, go, Viv.
Okay, I'm just gonna like tag right onto the back of that because that pretty much covers everything that I was gonna lay out and say. But having them there physically with us, as well as being so supportive, I know my mom was also listening to me and what I needed throughout the whole process. So there were certain days where I was like, yeah, I'm on top of this, I got this. And then there were other days when I was doubting myself. And there were days when I honestly thought, no, I can't send this in, I can't go through with this. And she was there to be like, no, this is something that you care about, this is something you've worked for, and now's the time to do it. Like there's not going to be another time to, you know, have this opportunity to train like this again. I mean, I'm so grateful for everything that she's done, just being there for us whenever we need us, giving us that hug at the end of the day, because yes, we all do need that hug, and listening. Really, that is the biggest thing.
Mm-hmm. That's so beautiful. I love that. You know, I love your mama, Viv. Bailey.
And I'm going to piggyback right off of that. Same thing for me. I knew my mom was there for me the whole time, 100%, but I also appreciated the fact that she let me take the handle on things when it came to like contacting the schools myself and taking care of everything myself, with also knowing that she was there to support me if I had any questions or anything, because, you know, colleges don't want your parents calling and being like, hi, my student has a question. My daughter has a question. No, you got to call yourself. You have to know, you have to trust yourself, and your parents have to trust you that you know what you're doing and that you can take care of it yourself, but they're also there for you whenever you need it. Because this is also college, you know, you're going to go away to college and your parents aren't going to be there. You can't rely on them. So it's also a moment to take that time to say, oh they can do this by themselves. I can trust them and I'm there for them 100%, even if I'm not there.
I mean, you know, it's something that, one, y'all know I love y'all so much, but what we are always asking our students, you know, the thing that Kate and I ask our gathered students, the thing that we ask our Hello Broadway students over and over and over are two words: take agency. And this is a principle that I learned from Kate, that you have to begin to take agency right now at this age, because if I see you activating your agency, I then know as your parent, as your mentor, what it is that you really want, what it is that really lights you up. And seeing y'all those weekends at Prescreen Prep, like with your parents, you're right. Like you said it best, Avery, like mom took a step back, like, and just let you walk through those halls and film those things and just be great. And I know Kate would say the same. We're just so gosh darn proud of y'all. Like truly, truly, y'all are so special to us, and good on you for taking agency. And as you go into your freshman year in the fall, continue to do that. You will stand out among other students, and faculty will lean forward to wanting to work with you because of it. So we love you. Get out of here.
You are all so amazing.
So amazing.
Proud of you.
Oh, mama, get in here. Get in here. From a parent perspective, I see you hiding. What was the best thing for you as a parent?
Kind of what you guys said. For us, I think I heard a couple other people say that where Viv was later to the game. It just, you know, she spent years doing dance alone and not musical theater. And so having her material picked to help showcase her the best was really, I thought, such a cool process, because it wasn't something I could help her with. I'm a nurse. This is not my realm, right? And I applied to college, but it's been a few years ago. And so the whole process is different. And so just to have somebody that's in the know, that we trust wholeheartedly, which is you guys, and know that you have her best interest at heart, it took so much of that anxiety and stress away from me as a parent, knowing that you were going to do the best, but you were also going to expect her to do her part. And so, I mean, it was a win all the way around. I love you.
Can I just ask really quick, because I remember at Gathered, we talked about this, because it, you know, these programs, they are an investment. Like, you know, it's an investment. Like this stuff is not cheap, because It's not cheap to get a film crew, to get a wardrobe stylist, to get Broadway performers to coach your students for 5 weeks, to get a SAT boot camp person. Can you talk about the mindset shift when you said, you know what, this is a sacrifice, this is an investment that is worth it?
Absolutely. I think the biggest part of it, like you said, like we knew that what we wanted for her, right? Like we knew that if she was going to pursue this, we wanted her to have all the tools at her disposal. And it wasn't something that I could do. I could go looking for people local to try to help, but just kind of like the way Kate broke it down earlier, like the expense was going to add up and we didn't know those people. Like we didn't have a relationship built in with them that I could trust wholeheartedly. Like we knew whatever you sent to her, you picked for her, right? Like we didn't doubt any of the stuff that came her way. And so the financial part, yeah, it's a lot. The coronavirus thing is this whole year has been weird, right? Like for her, some of her pre-screens became her auditions because there was no option. Like when the auditions started getting canceled, the notifications came back and they were like, you won't have an in-person. This is your audition now, right? And so for us, it was just an added value that those things were so well done and put together so professionally because that's the only contact and interaction they've had with her. So the financial part of it, though it is a lot, is 100% worth the investment.
I love y'all so much. Thank you for being here. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right, we're gonna wrap up. Y'all get your cute little faces out of here. So I love you. Bye. Yes, hearts. So, oh my gosh, what a night. What a night. That was really special.
I love seeing our students.
I know. It's like, it's the best part. It really, really is. Okay, friends, we are way over time. I apologize. Again, thank you for hanging on with us from the beginning of this night, trying to figure out the link and all that good stuff. Thank you, thank you, thank you. But what we want to share with you just one last time is make sure that you've got that PDF downloaded. It gives you the entire timeline of what we do at Prescreen Prep. And I think truly the thing that is, as you've heard, you've talked to our students and you've seen some of our parents tonight, the thing that's different here at Prescreen Prep is that you have a team. And can you get through this process without a team? Absolutely. But Kate broke it down so beautifully. The opportunity to then be able to do it in 5 weeks and have it be done feels like a gift. I know it's an investment, but I know that it is something that you will look back on when it's done. Because what we want is, you know, September 1st, September 15th, October 1st, all of our students have their applications in. And you can only do that if you've been set up in a structured way to be able to get those deliverables done in one place and delivered. Kate, did you want to add anything, friend?
No, I think that, no. Yes. The only thing I think I really want to add is I hope you can see in our students, the people who came, who spent their time tonight coming here and sharing their experience. The people that we work with are young adults who are ready to invest time and their heart and their energy in getting what they want and showing up for themselves and doing the work. So not only is this, like Robert said, an investment that's worth making for so many reasons financially, but if you're making that investment, we have an expectation of our students that they're going to make that investment in the work themselves. And so I'm just here to say my expectation, I hope that you get one of those 5 spots. And if you get one of those coveted 5 spots, I hope you show up to do the work. Because as my friend Robert always says, when you do the work works. And I am so proud of our students, all of our students in the class of 2020 for PSP, but also, you know, the people who showed up tonight. I'm just so proud. They did the work and it worked. And that's all I want to say. I'm really proud of the people who joined us last year, and I can't wait to meet the people who are going to join us this year.
I love you so much. I legit, like, I could cry right now because It's very special what we get the opportunity to do, especially during this time. And I know, Kate, we've talked about this a lot, but just the how grateful we feel to be in an online space of education and helping people, that we don't take it lightly. And what I wish is that we would have created Prescreen Prep 2-3 years ago, because I know that it would have made some of our students that went through the process without us, it would have been so much easier for them. And when you look at your students now that have so much joy and so many wins and so much light because of the way that we structured them through Prescreen Prep, you're just like, you just want other people to experience as well. Someone just asked in the chat, will there be a something that happens if Corona cancels the New York City weekend? Absolutely. So here's the thing. If you weren't on the top of the call, what I said is that our world is changing by the day. The beauty of this program is we get the opportunity to coach and to train our SAT skills for 8 weeks online in the privacy and safety of our homes. Then we get to work on our artistic portfolios for 5 weeks together. And then there is a 3-day weekend in New York City. We will see what happens in the world. We will see what happens in the world and figure out. Right now, we are going to go on with it as planned. But if we need to reschedule, I want you to know that for those of you that are not a part of the Broadway Collective family yet, we are people of integrity, we are people of solutions, and we are people of our word. So what we say we're going to do, we do, and we deliver well. So what I need you to know is that you can trust in this investment, regardless of what's happening in the world right now, because at the Broadway Collective, we will always make it right. That's what we do. We're family, and what we don't do is leave family behind or leave people out. So it is something that I promise we will make sure happens. So again, thank y'all so much for being here tonight. I have to send a huge, huge thank you to the team at the Broadway Collective. We are all in quarantine right now, and everyone is working so hard, making sure that we were able to get this live up. So if you are in the chat, can you do me a favor and just put a thank you Broadway Collective team in there, because they have worked extremely hard. I literally gave them the idea a few hours before this live. Hey, what if we switched platforms so that more than 100 people could be here? And we broke the internet, but listen, it all worked out in the end. And it's truly because of their love and their dedication and their desire to want to bring this mission truly to life, which is training the next generation of Broadway artists. I also have got to thank Jacob Burns for all of his incredible prep work that he's done for SAT Bootcamp. The videos and the framework look really incredible. I'm excited for the wins. I could not do any of this without our head of education, the lovely, the wonderful Kate Lumpkin. I love you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for making sure that these kids have everything and more that they need. I'm just grateful to do this work with you. So thank you, thank you, thank you, friends.
Thanks for letting me be here. Thank you.
Of course, of course. So now we are going to share the link with you all in just 1 minute, but I just want to remind you that we have just 5 spots left. Do me a favor, in the comments, tell me if you're trying to go into session 1 or session 2. I'm curious just to see kind of where the numbers are. And as you guys are putting that in the chat, either session 1 or session 2, put that in the chat for me. I am going to just tell you one more time what we are delivering to you. You are getting a full-on team to do your 2 dance videos, your 2 vocal videos, your 2 monologues, both contemporary and Shakespeare, 2 retouched images of your from your headshot session, as well as a professionally formatted artistic resume, and also final notes and feedback on your college essay. We're also going to be working with a wellness coach, a licensed therapist. We also have Joe Roscoe from Built for the Stage, who will be working with our students as well to make sure that they feel as incredible that they do in the clothes that Greg Dastonville, who will be our wardrobe stylist, will be styling everyone. It really is going to be quite an experience. I'm so grateful to all of you, but I will stop talking and I will open the gates. And the last person I want to thank really quickly, one, my mom is on this call. So thank you, Mom, for being here and being supportive, speaking of parents. And the last true thank you is to the students and the parents that have been on this call. Like, that takes courage, that takes time, in a time where so much is unknown. I just want to give all of the love in the world to you for being here with us. Thank you all again for your patience. And what I am going to invite you now to do is to go join Prescreen Prep and come work with us. We are so ready. The link to join Prescreen Prep is bwaycollective.com/join PSP. Again, I'm going to put it in the chat really quickly. It's bwaycollective.com/join PSP. One more time, it's bwaycollective.com/join PSP. The link is right there in the comments. And again, thank you all so much. And I hope you had an incredible time. And thank you again to Kate. I love you, I love you, I love you. And we will see all of you at Prescreen Prep, and we will continue to see you in Collectively Seeking Broadway for our Broadway Study Hall Challenge. Until next time, friends.